transmission line can be visualized as a distributed parameter present throughout the cable. Hello?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you tell the Shannon's theorems once more? Is it there in your slide?
Yeah. Shannon's theorem is C is equal to, again I am writing here, because I didn't mention this because it is a refresher batch, because people are annoyed if I mention this mathematics and all. But for your sake, I am writing here 1 plus SNR. 1 plus SNR, signal to noise ratio. This logarithm is to the base 2, remember, not 10, not base 2. Okay. Now, okay, this Shannon's information carrying is the fundamental building block of the communication engineering. The entire communication engineering is based on this. Even today, it is valid. It is applicable to even free space channels. The information carrying capacity of any channel is based on the bandwidth supported by that channel, and also the signal to noise ratio. Here the contradiction is, you have asked, here the fundamental contradiction is, if you increase the bandwidth in order to increase the capacity, no doubt we need the more signal power. At the same time, we are giving the scope for the intruding the noise power also. So as such, we are not able to increase the SNR. If you increase the signal power, okay, you can increase the signal power by putting the more bandwidth, by putting the more number of frequency component. But at the same time, it is giving room equally to the noise as well. This is the important contradiction, important challenge before the communication engineer is, the moment you widen the channel, wide bandwidth, you are giving a chance to noise also intrude in the equal proportionately. As a result, what is happening? The SNR is not increasing, which is required here. Which is required here. SNR is not able to increase, because as signal power is increasing and noise power is also increasing, the ratio is not increasing. Okay. So what is required here? We want more signal power, less noise power. Okay. Then only our purpose is served. The purpose of more information carrying capacity will be served. So this is important challenge and limitation. Because of this, we term another definition, that is Shannon's limit. The Shannon limit is also important landmark theorem in the communication engineering. The Shannon's limit, what it says, any practical data rate of any channel, data rate, that is practical data rate, is always less than or equal to C. This is called Shannon's limit. The Shannon limit imposes the fundamental restriction on the information carrying capacity of any channel. It limits the otherwise we term OFC as a infinite information carrying capacity. But this Shannon's limit, that actual data rate, practically possible data rate, is always less than the C. How to calculate this C? From this equation, you calculate the C. Again, what are the implications involved here? The bandwidth, not only bandwidth supported, the SNR is also involved here. Okay, anyway, we are deviating from the main topic. Let us not discuss all these details. Let us limit to our discussion to the fundamental nuts and bolts of a transmission line. What is transmission line? How it is visualized? How it is visualized? Can anybody? The transmission line is visualized as the infinitesimal elements of more number of elements scattered or distributed along the length of the transmission line. What are the parameters? The fundamental constants, primary constants, resistance per unit length, inductance per unit length, transconductance, and coupling capacitance between the two lines. So these parameters you will not find. If you open the cable, you will not find any resistance or inductance or G or C capacitor. You won't find. But they are assumed to be present throughout the transmission line, in an infinitesimal manner. And their effect is experienced by whom? Their presence, their effect. They will produce their effect. Even though they are not present physically, they will produce their effect. And this effect is experienced by whom? The signal which is propagating. The signal which is propagating along the transmission line is experienced as a forward resistance and forward inductance, which will constitute the impedance, and at the same time transconductance. I told the perpendicular leakage, transconductance, and capacitive coupling between the two lines. So these effects can be manifested throughout the transmission line. Okay, so the transmission line is modeled or assumed, take it for granted, that these primary constants present all over the length of the transmission line. The transmission line is visualized as a infinite length of the transmission line, where all these constants are present all over the transmission line, and their effect can be experienced by the signal. So we will see how this effect is experienced by the signal, and the main goal of this description is to tell you what is Z, that is characteristic impedance, Z0, and why it is important. Characteristic impedance, why it is important. Okay. So we all need to understand what is the characteristic impedance of a specific line and what is its implications, particularly in impedance matching, which is grossly ignored. Most of the people, they are ignoring the impedance matching phenomena. अभी हम लोग क्या करते हैं फील्ड में जनरली, अभी दो तार मिला बस जोड़ देते हैं. For example, you want to give a telephone connection temporarily, you want to find the continuous cable piece. What you do, you take one Cat6 cable, छोटा लेंथ मिला और उसको जोड़ दो एक स्विच बोर्ड केबल, वो भी सम कंडक्टर डिफरेंस, और भी लेंथ कम पड़ा, व्हाट, सम कोएक्सियल केबल मिल गया, जोड़ दो, सम ड्रॉप वायर मिल गया और ऐड कर दो. In this fashion, somehow we manipulate the thing, somehow we through the line. But is it the professional way? Is it allowed? Is it allowed? If not, what is the implication? And this, to understand and develop this awareness, it is very important to understand the characteristic impedance which is specific to a particular transmission line, and consequently the impedance matching condition, why it need to be followed at everywhere and anywhere in the entire communication link, that is from transmitter, channel and receiver. So to understand the implication and importance of the characteristic impedance, we need to understand slightly the transmission line theory. So in the next slide, we describe that. Before that, we just see what is the lossless line, but this is only limited to the academic textbooks only. All practical lines will not obey this condition, R is equal to G is equal to G, lossless condition. This condition is not, this condition is idealistic condition, and it is not possible for any practical line. Okay. We also mentioned the distortionless condition, RL is equal to DC. This is also another important restriction that the communication engineers expectation from the channel. Communication engineers put this restriction because to achieve the distortionless transmission. So we don't want to be signal distorted. Signal at one end it is a perfect square wave, but the moment it transmitted over a non-linear channel, the dispersion takes place. The signal shape will be converted like this. This is distorted. The shape of the signal is not perfect. As long as it is there in the transmitter, it is a perfect signal. But once it is transmitted over a non-linear channel, practical channel, and at the receiving end, you will find the shape has been distorted like this. And who are responsible for this distortion? These primary constants only, present all over the transmission line. And what is the condition required? We impose on for the distortionless transmission. This RL is equal to GC, the primary constant, the very primary constants. See how these primary constants creating nuisance for us. Okay, हम लोग बोलते हैं humming बोलते हैं और signal not detectable by the receiver बोलते हैं. हम practically बहुत सारा things और failure बोलते हैं. Finally, what we term it as a failure. And who are responsible for this failure? Even everything is in place. Who are responsible? These things are responsible. So at the designing stage, these things are very much required. And these problems need to be addressed. Otherwise, we won't establish a reliable communication link. Okay. Now we'll see the propagation constant. Just don't worry about by seeing this mathematics. It is nothing for you. It is not intended for you. But I just want to tell something that is attenuation constant and phase constant, which is a complex quantity and collectively known as a propagation constant. That means the instantaneous voltages and currents present all over the transmission line, along the transmission line. The instantaneous, matlab, the momentary values of these values will vary. These values will vary. This is the one you need to understand. At any point on the transmission line, instantaneous will be given and depending on the propagation constant, which is again depending on the primary constant. This propagation constant is again depending on the not only primary constant, and again on the frequency of the transmission. So here comes into the picture frequency. Here the effect of frequency can be seen. So the frequency is directly affecting the propagation properties of the transmission line. So this propagation constant is responsible for the signal attenuation as well as the signal phase variation or distortion. Here we are interested in the attenuation as well as the distortion. So while our signal is deteriorated or signal is affected, who are responsible for that? One is attenuation. It is the lowering of attenuation is nothing but it is the signal at the transmitting end. At the receiving end, you will find like this. The signal is get attenuated in terms of amplitude. And the distortion is you will experience the signal like this, distortion. Okay. This attenuation and distortion create a serious problems in the communication link, and they seriously affect the communication performance. Okay. So please understand the propagation constant is a complex quantity, is the combined effect of attenuation constant and phase constant. Okay. So here we define the impedance or AC resistance, which is very important thing, and it is frequency dependent. So please understand, as far as DC resistance is concerned, we don't bother about the frequency because DC is zero frequency, DC resistance. But as far as AC resistance, when we are incorporating the more higher frequencies to have the more bandwidth and more information capacity, we have to invariably switch to the higher frequencies. But the moment we entered into the high frequency range, then the AC resistance will come into picture. This is a serious problem at the high risk. That is why attenuation is high at the higher frequencies where the higher impedance values will be present. Okay. So please, the conclusion of this is this AC resistance is having the both inductive component, that is L, as well as capacitive component, that is C. These are not, we are not connecting any inductor or capacitor, but these are present all over the transmission line as in my previous slide. So because of this invisible presence, they are not physically visible. ये दिखता नहीं है, लेकिन इसका effect महसूस होता है. ठीक है, ये actually नहीं है L and C, but इनका effect का वजह से inductive reactance and capacitive reactance will be there, and this combined effect of inductive as well as capacitive reactance is termed as AC resistance or impedance. And this AC resistance and as well as impedance or attenuation or loss is affected by the greatly by the frequency variation of the signal. This is the reason we always expect the flat frequency response or a good frequency response. This is to achieve the fundamental goal of the communication. Otherwise, the very purpose of the communication is defeated. Very purpose of the communication is the reliable reception of the transmitted signal in its original form. So either channel or frequencies or these components have no right to get interfere and manipulate the signal. Otherwise, this is the promise to be done by the communication engineers. Communication engineers, the responsibility is from transmitting and the transmitter or vendor का जो signal है, जो information है, इसको protect करना है. Because of presence of these primary constants or frequency variation should not get effect, and at the receiving end, he has to hand over back the signal in the original form to the receiver. Okay, this is the noble job and responsibility of the communication engineer. So these presence of these constants will hamper and interfere in this way as described now. Okay. The characteristic impedance, I told the instantaneous values of Vz and Iz. These present everywhere and anywhere. These instantaneous values along the transmission line. At any point, the voltages and currents are instantaneous values and variable quantities. The ratio at any particular instant is known as a characteristic impedance. Okay, the ratio. So remember, this characteristic impedance is not measurable quantity. It is a calculated one. We cannot measure. Okay, it can be calculated using the primary constants of the line and using the frequency of the transmission. So frequency of transmission and primary constant will decide the characteristic impedance of the line. So as such, frequency varies, this characteristic impedance will also varies. This is important conclusion. I repeat this important conclusion again. As frequency varies, the characteristic impedance also varies. This is important to understand. The main goal of this lecture is this one. The characteristic impedance is very important quantity, and it is also varies as the frequency varies. Okay, this is the important conclusion. Okay. Now we will discuss different types of cables that are being used on Indian Railways. If you see the switchboard cable, it is having so many versions based on the denomination. We have the even 5-pair cable is also there. I have not mentioned here. A tin flat wire or drop wire, popularly known as drop wire, and 10-pair cable. See the please note this diameter variation. This will have the important consequence in field applications. When you are using a chrome terminal in which already 0.63 mm dia cable is terminated, so subsequently when changing the cable, you choose this one, then the problem will come. So this have the practical implications. So please choose the diameter, proper diameter of the cable, or you can change the, and you change when such situation arises, change the chrome modules as well. Okay. So this is 20-pair cable, 50-pair cable, 100-pair cable, and in datacom cables we have the Cat5 and Cat5, Cat6, Cat7. Nowadays Cat7 cable is also there. Corporates and data center application they are using, and STP cable, of course, shielded twisted pair. Okay, and these coaxial cables and popularly used in microwave and in previously all LANs were with coaxial cables only, and CATV cable TV is also being used in coaxial cables. Okay, and all these cables for most popularly application is the indoor applications and indoor wiring. Okay, the specification being given is here is the GR, that is generic requirement. GR means it is a generic requirement of this particular specification. The TEC specification, Telecom Engineering Center, ये भी भारत सरकार का organization है. This has the responsibility of maintaining the quality of the telecommunication and data communication equipment. So TEC specification can also be TEC specifications can also be incorporated. Okay, if you don't find the RDSO specification, any particular item, you can incorporate the same item from the TEC specification. Okay, underground cables, again the 10-pair, 20-pair cable, 50-pair cable, 100-pair cable. These cables are used normally for the outdoor cabling, and our RDSO specification has been given here. It is TC 41/97. This is a PHF cable specification. Okay. Generally, these underground cables, particularly 100 pairs, are used in high density applications where the generally exchanges are connected to the high density users, like a service building or a divisional office or any railway colonies. So these applications, the underground PHF cable is used. Okay. Now the color coding, we landed into the important aspect, but simple but important and often ignored. This color coding is often ignored, and most of the people not throw much attention on this because of its simplicity. ठीक है, color code है, क्या देखते हैं, क्या memorize करते हैं इतना colors है. But if you just have a look and just observe, it is very important to very easy to remember this. Here I have given the acronym to remember also. So why run backward? You will omit. Okay. So if you see the mating conductor or second conductor, the color code is white, red. Next one is red. You can see all the 5 pairs, the second conductor is red. In the third one, here also third one, that is it is black. It is B for black, and it is yellow. And fourth one, of course, fifth one I have not mentioned, it is violet. Okay. So this acronym is to use it to remember. Why run backward? You will omit. You remember this acronym so that the mating conductor or second conductor. Here for primary conductors also I have given the acronym. Bell operators give better service. Bell operators give better service. What is bell? Blue. Blue. Operator O, orange. Give green, and better service, that is brown, and service, that is slate. Okay. So the primary color or first color of the first conductor color, it can be remembered using this acronym, that is bell operators give better service, and the mating conductor color code can be remembered using this acronym. Okay. It is very easy to, in essence, what I want to point out is, it is very easy to remember this color coding if you remember these two acronyms. This is second conductor acronym, and this one is first conductor for each pair. In this way, in a multiple cable, let us say some 100-pair cable, and these things will be repeated with the in a systematic manner. You can also see the geometry also, the twisting and geometry, geometrical arrangement along the circumference also, so that you can easily understand the structure of the cable and arrangement of the conductor in a cable. Okay, so this color code is important, so I have emphasized this because of its importance. Okay, now comes to the quad cable. We landed into the very important topic of the today's lecture is the quad cable. This quad cable is having, of course, quad means 4 conductors. Okay, so this if you see the structure, it is a multi-layered in order to have the to give the much support and act as a backbone cable. It has the multi-layered and most of them are metallic. Okay, its structure resembles as the protection levels that have been given right from the outermost layer to the innermost conductor. If you go from the conductor, you find various layers, that is petroleum jelly, dummy tube, binder tape. Why this binder tape is required? This binder tape isolates the quartz by virtue of its color code. And polyester tape, polyaluminium tape, PVC inner jacket, aluminum wire screen, again woven tape, PVC intermediate jacket, JA steel RMR, and PVC outer jacket. This is the construction of quad cable. You can see
dummy tube purpose, sir.
Aji?
Dummy tube purpose.
Dummy tube to to fill the gap of the circumferential arrangement. It gives the to make the structure perfect in a to fill the gap of the geometrical arrangement along the circumference. If you see, the conductors are arranged in a circumferential in a geometrical fashion. Okay, it also gives the additional strength and mechanical strength for the this dummy tube basically gives fills the gap of the suppose I mentioned here dummy tube. The purpose of like this, here the tubes are placed like this. If I place if they arrange the conductor in such a manner, okay, this will fills the, not only fills the gap, and it also ensures that this same arrangement maintained throughout the same geometrical arrangement maintained throughout the cable. Okay, it will not allow anywhere in between the intermixing of these tubes. So it allows to maintain the same geometrical arrangement throughout the length of the cable. This is the idea of the dummy tube. Okay, I think you got it. Here we have mentioned the various parameters of the 6 quad cable. Is very important specifications. The RDSO specification has also been mentioned here, that is IRSTC 30/2005. Okay, the loop resistance, that is less than 56 ohms per loop kilometer. Transmission loss, of course, we are not using any nowadays, not unloaded cables. Only we are using unloaded, not loaded cables nowadays. So we are using unloaded cables only. That is why we have to take this value only. Okay, and impedance means it is Z0. Just we have described here. It is a characteristic impedance at 800 Hz. 800 Hz. It is a characteristic impedance at 800 Hz. Okay. The insulation resistance, which must be at least 100 mega ohm while measuring with the 100 volts Megger. Okay. Thickness of the sheet has also been given. Thickness of the GA armor, thickness of PVC inner sheath, aluminum tape, all these specifications. You can make these thicknesses and all, and the conductor dia there using a, which tool you use to check all these things? Which tool? It is screw gauge. It is screw gauge. Okay, screw gauge is used to check the all these dimensions. Okay, screw gauge or vernier caliper. Yeah, vernier calipers is also will do, but screw gauge will have the better accuracy than the vernier calipers. Okay, vernier calipers can also be used. Okay, Okay. We stop. No, just a word of caution about the specifications we have described here. You can see the characteristic impedance variation with the frequency. As I have pointed out earlier, we spend a lot of amount on describing this one. Okay. And 0.8 kilohertz, it is 472 ohms. The units are same. The AC impedance and DC resistance, the units are same. So here at 2 kilohertz, this much impedance is there for 0.9 mm dia. Okay. At 3.4, yeah, you can see as the frequency is increasing, the characteristic impedance is what happens to its frequency is increasing, the characteristic impedance is reducing. Okay. Next, the variation of the loop resistance, it is DC resistance. Okay. Loop resistance, DC resistance is also used various this thing, because the effective resistance, because of skin depth, this will have the implication, but I don't think it is not much essential. Again, the attenuation, which is very important, it is frequency dependent. Frequency variation of attenuation is also important. So it has also been given clearly mentioned here. As you go higher frequencies, the attenuation will be more. If you go if you want to more bandwidth and more information carrying capacity, then you need to suffer the more loss, more attenuation. Okay. The color code of the 6-quad cable is like this. It is very easy to again remember the color coding and even quad allocation. It is very easy to remember in OFC and non-OFC area. Just see the B, C, D and wires are same for all the 6 quads. Same white, red, gray, white, red, gray, white, red, gray. Only thing is the binding tape color is only changed. Orange, blue here is here the orange, blue. Orange one is first orange, blue, brown, green, yellow, black. So this is the color coding of the 6-quad cable. Okay. And the same quad allotment has been given in OFC section. There is only one fundamental difference between OFC and non-OFC section. In non-OFC section, the section control is having the blue color binding tape quad, whereas in OFC section, it is the spare one. Okay. With a very minor differences, you can find almost same OFC as well as same allotment with the non-OFC section. But you try to remember this one, because it is most of the sections the OFC is prevailing. Okay. This is about color code. And I finished this session by just comparing the telephone paired cable and telecom quad cable. This telephone cable, obviously, it is for local and very short distances. And telecom quad cable for obviously long distance and station to station. And the conductor is
Hello,
available in the
Sachinandi garu.
two
Hello.
Hello.
Sachinandi
Sir,
garu.
Gopal
Sorry
Rao
for the
Cheppandi.
interruption.
Okay.
Already time is 1:20.
Okay.
The
Okay,
time
we
is
stop.
up.
This is the final slide, sir. Last slide. We stop here, sir.
Okay.
Okay. So the differences are obvious from the previous discussion. Okay. The important point to note is this characteristic impedance. Again, my favorite topic is characteristic impedance, because this will have the very important implication in impedance matching. Particularly, we are connecting the various equipments. We connect various equipments, the modems and cards or whatever, transmitters and receivers, different types of transmitter receiver. While doing so, we have to understand and ensure this characteristic impedance and consequent impedance matching. Okay. So with this, we conclude. You have the PowerPoint. These things are very obvious and self-explanatory. The remaining differences between pair and quad cables. This is very important to understand the difference between these two, telephone and telecom cable. This is telephone cable, obviously. This is telecommunication. This is long distance. The name itself says it is a long distance and backbone cable. It is used for high density of users from the preferably from an exchange or from one point to the other point. Okay. So with this, I conclude. If any doubts are there, you are most welcome in the 4:30 session, where we will present and we can have a detailed discussion over that. Okay. Thank you, one
Sir,
and all.
kindly
Thank you,
send the
Gopal Rao
PPT,
garu.
sir.
Thank you, other participants. Okay. We
Kindly send
stop.
the PPT, sir.
Aji.
kindly send the PPTs, sir, through.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure. Okay. I stop the session and Gopal Rao garu close చేసేద్దామా?
చేద్దామండి జస్ట్ దెన్
I think Jaria has also joined.
otherwise if Jaria joins we will transfer the host rights to Mr. Jaria, that may be convenient, or otherwise please transfer me host rights, then I will come and hand over the host rights to the next participants at 2:15 p.m. You transfer the host rights to me, Satyanarayana garu.